AI is not going to destroy the world, but that CEO developing the next idea, he may well. Okay, so generative AI may be able to understand exactly how particular human beings speak and generally how a lot of interesting people communicate. Getting someone to generate a speech in the form of Bane is not necessarily a predictor for the end of the world. However, it does suggest that copywriting, it does suggest that writing in an authentic language is under threat, because if it can be mimicked and copied and created by robots, who's to say anything you ever read from this point onwards was written by a human? Who's to say? One of the problems isn't necessarily the fact that generative AI, such as ChatGPT, is being used. It's more the case that over time, individual creativity, individual voices and ideas becomes funneled through a particular medium, such as ChatGPT, where over time you will find particular voices, particular opinions, particular language tendencies are phased out, and it transforms into a more neutral and very similar way of communicating, which removes any kind of nuance, culture, and experience, unless otherwise asked for in those prompts. So if I said, hey ChatGPT, write me a speech for becoming the new mayor of Luton in the style of Homer Simpson, it would 100% do that, be able to do that. Should it do that? Should I really have a speech written for me by ChatGPT in the tone of Homer Simpson? Not necessarily, but the option is now there, and it can be done in an instant. You must be asking, how do I combat generative AI? How do I fight against it in the way that I want to communicate if I want to stay and remain authentic? And I will explain now. Tip number 1, draw on your personal experiences, anecdotes and stories. Those simply won't be contained within these large language models which are already out there on the internet. If you've got personal stories, anecdotes, and you're writing a letter to your friend, you're writing a speech, you're writing a poem, that is your opportunity to shine through. Be you, be your authentic self. AI could never. 2, proofread your work when you send it to your peers. So if you're about to submit an important piece of work, show it to a trusted friend or an expert. Get them to review it, look over it. Get them to spot things in the language that they struggle with or found particularly different or interesting. And it's in those environments, those situations, where you can begin to ensure it's not all being funneled through a particular strict algorithm, cookie cutter. And last but not least, tell jokes, be humorous, be funny. AI, although is able to understand jokes, is able to understand sentiment, is able to make reference to jokes and comedy. You yourself, in that live environment, if you are giving a speech, okay, public speaking, if you're in a meeting at work, anywhere you are, and you have the opportunity to show some humor and some nuance, and generally just be a very switched on and capable human being, this is where you will be able to have your advantage. The robots can't get us all at every point, because you are still you at every point in the day. If after this video you're still concerned and have questions about generative AI, like this video, follow my page, and keep an eye out for any more updates on how to stop this revolution. Come on. Existential crisis, Skynet, the Terminator, Black Mirror, we've all seen it, we've all been there. Let's stop it. One video at a time. One share at a time. Share this to your family chats and to all your networks, because it's not the end of the world. We can fight back. We can fight back. We can do it. We can fight back. It's not over, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. Keep doing more than the rest. And you know the rest.